All right, everybody. Welcome to the quarterfinal game, tiebreaker round with Here's Jim versus Kornel, which is exciting. Kornel is playing the Empire, and Here's Jim is playing the Rebels. Now, I am just at the beginning of it. Actually round 4, but Dubes has been watching. I wonder if he is able to co-commentate, or if not, maybe we'll just see how this goes. I can have him catch me up on what's going on. It looks like Death Star started at home. Mykito started subjugated, and probably something on Seleucami, went to Mon Cal and Toydaria, maybe Mandalore, that direction. We've got a rebel cell in Mustafar. It's the first objective down. 3 in Utapau, and Star Destroyers that seem to be heading up to Ryloth. So very interesting situation here for Kornel. He's got 1 assault carrier down in Endor. I can only imagine I'll ask Dubes to catch me up on what we missed here in the background. So, okay, let's take a look at the queue. The queue's got Y-Wing, Vanguard, Trooper, Corvette, and X-Wing on the queue with a Mon Cal on here. Which means if Mon Cal was produced, that's gotta be Mothma's card, probably. Maybe freed up with Incite Rebellion. Excuse the cough. It's allergies, I think. Hopefully I'm not sick. We'll see. Alexa, stop. All right, I've got the chat up. So if anybody happens to hop on, feel free to say hi. Both Here's Jim and Kornel tend to play pretty quickly, so I imagine this should be a relatively good view of the game. They are using the ultimate mod here. Here's Jim with a loyalty move in Geonosis. Kornel's definitely in a bit of a pickle here. So walking 1 Star Destroyer towards Ryloth with some ground troops. And then he might have to use the Death Star in Mustafar to deal with that Rebel Cell. Rebel Cell can get out of control pretty quickly. Kornel likes the rote deck as Empire. I don't know exactly what he's playing here. With this mod, you can't view by highlighting, so we'll have to see. Death Star over to deal with Rebel Cell, it looks like. And then there's an AT-AT on the queue, so I would predict next move probably AT-AT deploying in Bothawi, moving everything to Tatooine, and then preparing for a front on Ryloth. Let's see if Saw's on Rapid. If Saw is on Rapid, maybe he's moving units back to the base from Rebel Cell. But at this point, I'm assuming the base is up in Ryloth. I've been playing this mod a little bit more. I gotta be honest, I still don't love it. I do see why people are into it. Okay, so Vader's going to Rodeo with the idea of ruling by fear with the Emperor to be able to deploy there next turn. That's a good move. It keeps things out of range. From assaulting Moncals. Kornel's got a couple of good action cards here. Soontir being one of them. Boy, maybe dropping a Soontir on this Rebel Cell mess. Although maybe you just drop a Death Star on it instead. So again, I got this chat up and going. If anybody has questions or anything, happy to try to answer there. Chewbacca, where'd Chewbacca come from? Was he in the pool? Did I miss that? Looks like we're doing a got the little wombats over here at the beach hanging out, playing some Rebellion, looking at the world go by. Maybe Chewie goes to Bespin. I don't know. Nope. Chewie does nothing. Nope. Death Star. Hang out. Hang because he's going to sabotage. That's what's happening. Okay. Yeah, Chewie activates. That suggests that Saw is on sabotage. Now, the problem that he's got is that Krennic is almost definitely on R&D. And Leia doesn't have anything else to block, so she might as well try this. And you know what? 2v5 is not the end of the world for Leia, especially with R2. You have to assume one of these will be a saber. I can discard that. Oh, no, even getting rid of R2 there. Okay. Well, that's too bad. Can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. Sabotaging Bespin. Okay. And a Dictor. R&D. Okay. So you figure maybe a good chance at a laser? See which objectives Jim is scoring here. We have 2 for cut supply lines. Yeah, I maybe would have tried to sabotage Bothwy. Threaten the core. Oh, threaten the core into Rebel Cell. That makes sense. I gotta say, I really like this mod for War of the Ring. The developer of this mod did a great job with the War of the Ring mod. It seems to do okay for Rebellion too, so I see why people like it. I think I've played so many games of Rebellion, I just instinctively want to move things around on the board. But the younger generation plays this more and more. So be it. All right. Oh my God, I hate seeing Lando as the final rebel leader on there. Lando, Nadine, Chewbacca. What a mess. So Nadine's has been played. Lando and Chewie. So he's got Wookiee Guardian and then probably independent operation. Yep, Interdictor in the Death Star is good. AT-AT up in Bothwy, I think, with the troop. And then Star Destroyer in Naboo, probably. Star Destroyer and Striker. No, I think you need the troop in Bothwy, because what are you going to leave behind there? I guess a TIE fighter instead of two. Hmm. All right. We, of course, don't know what the probes look like for the Imperial player, so I'm guessing the base is on Ryloth. I don't know. Yeah, might as well play something else up there, I guess. Well, Imps have Ozzel, so as much as I hate seeing Lando, I'm sure Rebel players hate seeing Ozzel even more. See, if the base is on Ryloth, that's actually going to be a mess. You actually can't deal with that with Tatooine. Because I think three Star Destroyers fall to two Mon Cal, two Nebulon, and a Corvette, and a Y Wing. So you might need to take things a little bit slower. Maybe clear out Utapau, put everything in Rhodia, deal with this Rebel Cell. Rebel Cell's okay if it only gets one objective scored. Even if it gets two, it's kind of a net even. I wonder if you Soontir here to stop him from deploying more stuff in Ryloth. Or if you Soontir to clean out Mustafar. Here's Jim, and I played a couple games recently. He's a good solid player. Both these guys are solid players. Right now, they're in the bottom bracket of the tournament, meaning they've each lost one game. And currently in this match, they're 1-1. So Kornel won the first game, Jim won the second game. Both of them won as Empire. And so now the tiebreaker, I don't know how they determined who's playing what, but Kornel appears to be probably chose Empire. I'm not sure. With Lando, sometimes if you're Imperials, you need to think about approaching the base from a remote system. To try to avoid independent operations. That can be easier with the rote deck because you can play the Imperial deployment card. What's it called? I don't know, Death Star Strength or something, where you drop units from Q spot #1 onto the Death Star or a shield bunker. And then you can activate those units if you do it with two leaders on there. Okay, Chewie back, Lando back. Lando back. Got to be a little bit careful with sweep the area out, keeping Lando back. I mean, maybe he attacks with them right away. I don't know. He does have 4 fighters in Mustafar. But with the Interdictor's cancel card and being on defense, you can cancel like the transport card, let's say. And then if you get 4 hits, you can eliminate all 4 fighters potentially. Because the rebels can't flip the combat, they can't remove damage, and they can't block hits. So you've got 3 black dice, which should get you 2 hits, 2 green, which might get you 1, and then 5 red, which should get you 1 more. So I mean, it's a little bit janky and a little bit risky for the Death Star, but we're probably okay. All right. Interesting that he discarded Ozzel's card, even when he has Ozzel. Obviously, I guess he knows where the base is. All right, let's see. Rebels up. Chewie back means he's probably was originally planning to block planetary. There's no planetary coming out because there's not enough red symbols on. But what I was saying earlier with Lando and Sweep the Area out, Draw Them Out is designed to pair up with Sweep the Area. So like if you play Sweep the Area in Dagobah, let's say, and you draw them out and you grab Lando and you put him in Dagobah, then at the end of the turn you capture him, Sweep the Area. Very cool combo. So you always have to be a little bit careful. Maybe that's why he's got Chewie back, is to block that potentially, but who knows. Be back momentarily. All right, let's see what we've missed. Lando going for a fight. Okay, let's catch up. Going for the Death Star. Here we go. Cancel. And then we get to play another card, which is probably a damage card. Like I would do 1 damage to a fighter here, is the winning combo, I think. Then it means you only need to do 4 damage after that. Okay, that concept is okay. That keeps another fighter alive and lets you roll an extra black, which is worth like 75% of a hit. I don't think I would have risked that. I think I would have just taken the guaranteed damage. Because you figure 3 greens are 1 hit, 3 black are 2 hits, and then 5 red is 1 hit, about. So now you've gone to 3 blacks, 4 blacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, worked out. This brings me to another comment just now, which is one that Dubes left in a chat that we're having, and I asked him for some commentary, and he said, "Here's my commentary. Don't ever go for the Death Star." Which is funny because I feel like he's murdered my Death Star hundreds of thousands of times, but we'll see. All right. I get the idea he was trying to protect Rebel Cell, but even if he was, I think letting the Imperials come to you and with the chance of killing the Death Star is better because you can play the cancel card and they cannot flip the combat or play their cancel card. So then you are rolling on you have the ability to heal your ships. And I think he was rolling 3 black dice, which is, 50-50 chance of healing something. And then you could roll for the Death Star at that point. So 50-50 chance of killing the Death Star, 50-50 on killing the ship. Then your 25% chance of getting the Death Star, and I think you were probably less than that here doing an attack. So Lando back, leaves the troop. Really? Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Force him to use a laser, maybe. This is a 1 in 6 chance of surviving this, which is tough. Crippling blow. Okay. All right. Well, there's that. Now we'll see if Kornel has a laser. I assume he does. R&D, I think there's 4 lasers in the deck and probably like 12 cards, so 33% chance with each pull, so about better than 50-50 chance you pull a laser with a full R&D. This seems okay. I mean, he doesn't have Return of the Jedi. He's going to be no, bring everything. Oh boy, who's just leaving Vader out there for the murder hole? Maybe it's already been played, I don't know. Okay, Jim's turn. So Chewie Could go for a confrontation invader. I mean, unless the base just isn't in Ryloth, but it really feels like it could be. You assume the Death Star started in either Mandalore or Coruscant, so Ryloth would be far away from the Death Star. Megiddo has had zero activity around it. Something happened in Mustafar. We've been fighting for Utapau, so it definitely feels like the base is over in that general direction. Also, things like playing infiltrate on a big army like that sets the idea that you don't want the Empire to block it, because then, or you do want the Empire to block it, so then they'll lock their forces in place. Okay, infiltrate. Tarkin. Bringing some TIE fighters along. Leaving the assault carrier behind means he's probably not too worried about Hoth. Killing a stack of lasers on top of the interdictor go. Did that get killed? Maybe it did. All right. Okay, one hit back. Okay, now what? Rapid. Okay. Laser. Makes sense. Okay, Mustafar destroyed. That's fun. ART investment and then R&D incoming. Does Kornel go to Tatooine this turn? There's a little bit of problems with land out, because unless he has a way of dealing with both loyalty. Yeah, look like he does. Okay. I guess he did, but a little buffier and then oh no, he has more wood here. So yep, okay, that's fine. So if he doesn't have so, okay, so Rebs roll 3 blocked. Now Mothma running loyalty. Okay. R2 still not coming into play yet. Okay. Rebel loyal. So now what? Interdictor. Okay. Hello to Spoonwise. Thank you for the comment. let's see what we have going on here. Rolling to prevent a sabotage. 2-0. Holy cow. All right. So here's the thing. If Lando comes out and everything's in Tatooine, you cannot move the troops to Tat. You can only move them to Naboo, where you don't currently have any other deployment, although you do have a Star Destroyer in the queue. So maybe that's what you do. Hit and run. Kato. Why would you not just plunk the ATST of Bothawi on it? Or the AC and Celeste? At this point in the game, the Rebels have to be thinking about what their wing condition is here. So, yep, I like that. So if they're going to go for ground wing, then they need to get rid of the ATST. Very cool. Sweep the area, Lando, Bespin. Very cool. Okay, nice job. So now Lando goes to the Death Star where he is to be tortured by the Empire. Fun times in Dagobah Land. Why Krennic's finest are searching the swamps of Dagobah, we'll never know, but it was not Jedi Lando's time this time. Okie dokie, round 6-ish. 5? Round 5. No, round 6, I think. Rapid the transport. Okay. One assault carrier on the queue. One Moncal. Oh, and a freighter. Interesting. Okay. I'm adjusting volume up a little bit here. It says my mic is popping, but who knows? Rebels with a lot of deploy. So you destroyed the ATST, so just drop your troops into Ryloth because that's your win condition. You don't need Y-wings out in the group. Looks like a Moncal and a Nebulon in the base. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. But again, if you are in Ryloth and you've decided that you're not going to defeat 4 Imperial Star Destroyers, then don't drop everything in the base. You have to assume that he's... Oh, no, he does not have Oz's card. Proceeding this plan was out. Okay. Interesting. Maybe you do deploy the Moncal. If so, I think maybe you should have blown up space instead of ground, but maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's all wrong. All right. So since Lando's captured, do you attack out to start? I often get my timing wrong on Rebels. Interestingly enough, he's only got Dodonna with 2 space strength. Everything else is all ground skill at the moment. And if you're Kornel, do you just attack with your 2 AT-ATs? What's your backup if that goes sideways? I mean, 2 AT-ATs could take out 7 dudes. Probably not 7 dudes in a speeder. Hmm. I don't know. I don't love it. I don't love this situation at all. Feel like the Empire's got to make sure Lando stays captured, or both of his. He has 1 starting card left. Could be Vader's. Could be Vader's. Could be the Emperor's. Okay, so the Empire's turn to assign. So we have Madine and Riken on something. Probably, I don't know what. Maybe they're on Demolition. I'm going to run that in Megiddo or Celeste. Get rid of that AT-AT incoming. That could be good. Okay, and just bringing the fleet out. Yep, bringing the fleet out from Ryloth. Gonna try to wipe that 1 Star Destroyer. Here's the tricky part, though. If he does not kill that Star Destroyer, it just is going to retreat to Geonosis. Form up with its buddies. I guess the Interdictors are not out to play yet, but all right, let's see it. So here you play block hits and flip the combat, I think. Don't get too fancy. You have a major priority to eliminate this Star Destroyer so those AT-ATs don't squirt away. I don't think you needed to bring the X-Wings. Maybe it's block hits and Y-Wing card. Maybe it's just Y-Wing. Okay. Overload. No, 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 all 6. What if he rolls 2 heals? Okay, I guess he did. That's the Corvette and all three fighters, though, which is a bad. Nope, nope. Moncat, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. Then if he stays with the X-Wing, those X-Wings could die too. All right. So now he's got to assign some Star Destroyer power to that section of the base, probably at least one, if not two. I'd probably put two there, because now the Rebel fleet is a little bit weaker, and their reinforcements are not going to be there next turn. They just have troopers to deploy. Although, why do we have no leaders with? Why is everybody on missions? What's happening here? Carbon out with the Wookiee out? What are we doing? Come on now. I mean, I get he's got planetary, but I don't know, maybe. All right. Okay, fair. I will not question. Probably needed Chewbacca out somewhere. Yeah. I think you actually reveal the base and wrap it there to give you a block against planetary. I think that's why you put those guys there originally. And I'll bet Kornel realizes that and tries to force the issue now. Although, does he have a planetary force anywhere? He does not want to. Nope. Okay, I don't know what he's on. Truth the plans, maybe? Detain. Detain is good. Maybe it's trade negotiations and rule by fear. And R&D, try to clean up Geonosis. It's going to be hard with 3PO back on Mothma. Well, there you go. Rescue. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So what do you do if you're Kornel? Do you bring another Star Destroyer into Geonosis? Do you bring a Star Destroyer over to Tatooine, maybe? Not sure. If there's good Rebel players out there, let me know, because I'm a very mediocre one myself. Get Krennic covering the Death Star, sure, why not? You don't want to get caught with your pants down accidentally. Lose 2 points. Rebs are going to score maybe 3 more objectives. 1, 2, 3 you have to plan for. So you'll have maybe 2 more moves after this to get the base. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Okay, Hidden Fleet to Yavin. And under the radar is probably also Yavin. Now, to be fair, Kornel's got ships on Megiddo which can go to Mandalore, but Mandalore can be undone with Mothma. So if that's the case, maybe it's moving with the Emperor, maybe capture with Vader, rule by fear with Tarkin. That'd be a fun little thing. I don't know how important this move is because yes, he has two AT-ATs on Tatooine, but he also has no way to transport them, and he's got a very damaged Geonosis. But I do like base moves. I mean, if you move too much stuff and you get planetary, then you just lose. He could only bring an ATST with him. So, you know, guess whatever. He brought no troops? Why no troops? Why no troops? Oh no. I think that's game. I guess I don't know. Maybe that gives him a chance to okay, let's go through the logic here. Maybe Jim's idea was if I hidden fleet over to Gavin, he'll assume that's where under the radar is, so he'll planetary there, and then he can't planetary where Soontir is to give him extra beef for the Emperor to move in and do whatever he's going to do there. So, like, the Emperor could move to Tatooine, where there is now an ATST and two troops. Ooh, man. Okay, where's the Emperor go? Yep, has to be the Tatooine, right? No, you bring more than that. Oh, no, I guess you don't. Well, maybe you do. No. All right. Okay, guess you just bring that. Okay. And Tarkin, what's he on? Will by Fear, probably, right? And Kornel disconnected. It's like an issue with him seeing his project card. Yep, Rule by Fear. So probably Geonosis, right? I think you need a backup in case your AT-ATs don't work. Because he's going to have, yeah, I need GNSs. Oh, okay. There's no shield bunker to be deployed. Interesting. Okay, well, 8 options. Does he stay or does he go? Jim's options are he can deploy 2 more troops to Ryloth and fight. And he's got to survive at least a couple of turns. Or do you move the base? Like maybe he has Felucia on there. Do you move the base to Felucia? What about Nalhutta? There are 2 interdictors that are about to drop on the board. But the interdictor card has already been played recently. I don't know. Yeah, Spoon. The Vader was MVP there for that play on Yavin. That's why you have to take troops with you. Because like even if you just take a Vanguard, then he doesn't have a spot that has an ATST and a troop on it. And he can't bring these AT-ATs, so he's in like a pinch. If you bring a Vanguard, he'd have to bring maybe these 2 from Coruscant. So maybe you have to bring a Vanguard and a troop just to cover either possibility. Although Hold Them Back was already played, wasn't it? Oh, no objective. Ooh, that's bad news. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. It's got a lot of loyalty. See what he does with this other unit. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 troops in a speeder. That's definitely more than the units on Tatooine will be able to handle on their own. Again, I think why you should have ruled by fear in Geonosis. No shield bunker, no Rise of the Empire deck. Okay. Seems reasonable. Probably assault carrier to Toydaria, maybe? Yep. Interdictor to Seleucumai. Now that makes sense for sure. Maybe and a troop. Yeah, maybe. Maybe if you're covering remote systems there too. But yeah, I like Toydaria. I like Seleucumai better, I think. And then you can deploy a TIE fighter up in Toydaria to help keep control of that space if you need it. His concern here, depending on how many hit and runs have already been played, is that ATST can be hit and ran, and then he can go to that location again anyway. That's partially why I think an interdictor and Seleucumai would have been good, so you could bring that trooper to Mandalore as well. But hard to know. I mean, he could have. Yeah, I know. I don't know exactly. There's a few things the rebels could do. The other interesting situation that Here's Jim has got to deal with at the moment is that because Dodonna was detained, he will be the de facto fighter in Ryloth, unless the first move is to rapid with, say, like Saw and Maydeen, and then get a 3-strength ground unit in there. And if you do that, yeah, I guess doing that's the right way. Otherwise, you could move a Star Destroyer and capture the ground unit commander. But if there's 2 that are both 3-strength in there, you can't really do that. So that's fine. So Empire's definitely got to start running as much loyalty as they can here. Keep prepping for Lando. Do you force the issue and do you attack with both AT-ATs now? Or do you blockade Ryloth and then bring your 3 AT-ATs together on Geonosis, assuming you have a way of dealing with Lando? Because you could send 1 Star Destroyer to deal with the Y-Wings, 1 Star Destroyer to blockade Ryloth, and the 3rd Star Destroyer to go back with the 4th Star Destroyer to bring 3 AT-ATs and 3 troops together. And then at that point, then you can make a push next turn. However, in order to do that, you're going to have to deal with Lando. And unless you capture him this turn, I'm not too sure how you deal with him. Yeah, be a little bit careful about what Chewie's on too. I feel like Chewie's on maybe that second hit and run. So I'd keep Vader back to block Chewie with whatever he's doing. So I'm going to predict that's going to be a rapid first to put both those units in the base so they can't move and capture. And I think Kornel's a pretty patient person. So I think he's going to start by attacking the Y-Wings in Utapau. Nope. Okay, not Felicia. Why leave those other TIE fighters back? Leaving those TIE fighters back give you a target for major victory to be scored. Also is worse defense against this group here. I would have at least brought a second TIE fighter. It does protect against hit and run, that's true. So maybe that's why. I think the assault carrier card's already been played. So I predict Tractor Beam, maybe? Against Rogue Squadron raid? Yeah. Yep. No, nothing. Okay. Kornel's land. 1 reroll. 1 for the Corvette. Yep, got it. 1, 2. Okay. Oh, that's the major victory. Okay. Didn't matter. Okay, major victory. Very good. Definitely does not have enough wiling or enough loyalty to deal with one enough. So I think he tries. He's got to try it with Krennic's finest, probably. You'd be rolling 3 black and 4 red just against a disaster of a. You know, that's a great card for Jim to have right here. Oh yeah. Also can't play it because it's Leia on the wrong. Going for Botharu, there's no. It's going to be 1 more point for Jim. Here's eliminating the wiling. It's too bad that striker's on Rhodia. Okay. Wait, Emma. I mean, where's Lando here? Lando is in Felicia. Could Krennic be on a capture? Would that be the greatest capture of all time? Plant false leads. Geonosis, Malastare. So Geonosis, Malastare, Naboo, and Cato. None of which he can move to. So Rebel player played Plant False Leads. In the other mod, what we do is we just draw 4 and show them face up so that the Imperial player can't resolve it. And then in this mod, it looks like you just state out loud what you pull. The card doesn't specifically say that's what happens, but the idea is in real life, you're holding the cards as they pull them out of your hand, so you see what they're pulling. So if I'm Jim, I put 1 on top and 3 on bottom. And that way, if you wrap it and you move, you know he could be at any of those spots, but none of those you really want to be at. So Jim took 2 and 2, so probably Cato and Malastare on top, and then Geo and Naboo as probes 11 and 12. So Chewie's almost definitely on a hit and run then, because Cato will be attackable. But I think Kornel knows that's what's happening here, and that was a big oversight for Leia not being able to play covert operations. I'm sure he would love to have done an infiltrate instead. I mean, is Lando actually not on independent operation? And also, why did he not blockade Ryloth? That's going to let him deploy another 2 troops there. Lead the strike team. Okay. I don't know about that. Maybe Lando's on undercover. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, and he can't lead the strike team either because he's got units in the base. That's tough. That's a pretty commonly overlooked thing because planning the assault allows you to move units out of the base even if you have a leader there. And then going to pass. Okay. So Jim passes. That's tough. 2 missions that he wasn't able to use there. That, you know what? Everybody has those moments, especially in high stress games. So let's see what Kornel's up to with Ozzel, Krennic, Finest, and Vader. Again, I think the right move would have been to blockade by Loth. I'm not even sure I would have moved at Yavin, to tell you the truth, because, like, do you want to deal with that? There's going to be 2 potentially, definitely 1 ATST, probably 2 getting dropped on Mandalore, so I don't think that does you any favors there. Two projects. Man. The other thing, Krennic could be on a probe. Sometimes if the Rebel player has under the radar, it is helpful to keep somebody on a probe draw if you think they're going to go that direction. For example, Chewie clears Yavin with a hit and run. Imperial player plays secret weapons research. Rebels pass and put this card on top of the deck. Then Krennic plays not a probe draw. Okay. Everybody's surprising me today. This does jumble up the probes. It also lets him take note of which 2 probes he chose to put on top with plant false leads. It also would have potentially shuffled Yavin back into the deck had Yavin been on top. I think I would have liked the strategy of just drawing Yavin instead because he's going to draw all of these because of 2. And now because we've pulled all these out of the deck, Tatooine, Naboo, Ord, now he's got 5 eligible spots to move to. Dantooine, Yavin. Oh, Yavin was not under the radar. Whew. All right. Here it is. Yavin Felucia. Okay. Well, let's all be surprised here. And man, again, if this force had still been back at Ryloth, I understand he was trying to move, but like if this force had been to Ryloth, he could pick off another Star Destroyer here potentially too. Although maybe Kornel would have moved differently. Also, yeah. And then if you're going to hidden fleet move, just bring the whole party with you. I think is the way to go with that. There's a chance maybe it all backfires, but hindsight is 2020. All right, so Jim's got 5 eligible spots to go to, and based on the probes we saw, let's see what's not covered. I know Dantooine was pulled, so it's Dathomir, Ilum, Hoth, Dagobah, Naboo, Malastare. So those are the 6. He did not move the base next to the Death Star, next to the Death Star, next to 2 assault carriers. Oh, it could have been up here too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 total. And there's 6, including under the radar. Yeah. We shall never know. We shall never know, people. All right, so we've got, what do we have coming out over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 hit points. Deploying 2 more for 13 hit points. Imperials, if there's no Lando. So here's the thing, if there is Lando, where is everybody going? Am I missing something with Lando? Do we know for a fact he's on... Like, do we know for a fact he's on undercover, maybe? I'm gonna ask Dibs. Holy deployment. Holy deployment. He's got 4 vanguards in the base. Oh, he's got too many vanguards in the, yeah, 4 vanguards in the base. So just troops. Black strength troops. No, oh boy, what are we doing? Okay. So those 2 guys are going to go for the Star Destroyer. With no Y-Wing card and no ion cannon. This is why you had to put a Star Destroyer over Ryloth to prevent deployment. Oh, Lord. Even if you do that, well, I don't know. I don't know what's whatever. I'm just going to enjoy. I'm not judging. I'm just here to watch. No, can't declare there. That's not legal. All right. I'll stretch my legs while this is coming down here. The stress of it all. All right, spoon-wise with the comment in stream, which I agree with, not blockading was a bigger oof for imps than the 2 red missions that didn't go off. This feels like independent operations, then Moncal and Corvette take out the remaining SF. Possible. Here's the problem with that. If they attack out, the Moncal and the Corvette do not have enough firepower to take out the Star Destroyer, even without the shield bunker being there. So if that happened, everybody just retreats to Geonosis, where there are still Star Destroyers there. Now, it would have been nice to have that assault carrier in Naboo to deliver the rogue AT-AT to the base. I don't know. Maybe the Empire's on hunt them down. Also, I guess, oh Lord, I guess Kornel's got to win at this game, or not at all, or like this turn, because you have to assume Jim's going to score level 3, right? Or level 2, like he's got Raid Factory or something that you can't stop. My God, no independent operation. All right, see what Lando does. There's no Piat, right? Piat. No Piat. Okay, so this is TIE Fighter card? No, why are we doing this right away? If I'm Kornel, I save that till next turn, because he might do less than 2 damage this turn, and he certainly, well, I guess he could roll crits. Yeah, maybe that's right. So that works. Yep. Shield bunker works. He's got to do a lot of damage, though, here. So Corvette's down. TIE Fighter card's already played. This is the... I don't know what card this is. Oh, no, yeah. Okay. So flips the combat, cannot heal this turn. Okay. 1 damage. Okay, can't heal. No. That's the wrong one. Can't heal. Can't heal. Yep. That's right. Reroll the heal. Yep. Because you can't heal. That's right. Okay, 1 hit. Okay, so now I guess we have the shield bunker card again. Okay, that's cool. I guess that's why you play it that way. Just ignore me, Kornel. I'm not paying attention to what cards you have. So shield bunker card this time, and then TIE Fighter card next time? No, TIE Fighter card this time. Shield bunker card next time. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm into that. Just 1. Okay, we're at 4. Oh, it's blocked, though. Yep. One hit. 3 rolls. And 2 heals. Holy cow. Okay. The Star Destroyer needs some help, man. Okay, shield bunker card. No. I don't know what's happening. Now you need a heal. Nope. Alright. That looks like the end. All that she wrote. Tough spot there. All right. There's no real reason why to stay. He didn't play a leader, so you're not worried about track them. Kornel probably has to try something semi-tricky here. He's probably got to attack with a single stormtrooper and play the single red damage card and hope that his trooper takes a hit and rolls a red, and that his one speeder doesn't roll a heal, right? And if he does that, the speeder will be defeated. And then he can bring in the remaining, he can bring in the AT-AT and have a better chance of surviving against Take Them Down. I don't know what cards we've got here. There's 4 combat cards down. So assuming Tow Cables is not down there, that's the maneuver I would do here. I would bring, I'd bring 1 Star Destroyer in, and gosh, if I had 3 Star Destroyers in, I guess you could bring 1 in and then another one into Bombard after that. But I think you have to, so it depends on what's here. I guess I can't search that, can I? That would be my move for Kornel now. And then you also got to watch out for sabotage. You also have to bring some troops here because you're worried about Return of the Jedi. Like if Mothma's on an Incite Rebellion, then they just blow up the tank. Okay. Not sure why you don't save that for here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you kill the speeder, that's 6. Then it's 4. All right, we'll see. I think, yeah. I mean, who knows? Kornel might have a good trick up his sleeve. Okay, 2 blocks. And damage. Two more. And that's the Moncal. Okie dokie. Come on, Imp. Let's put these guys out of their misery, right? Nope. Okay. 2. Yeah, I think you could have played according to their design in Ryloth at some point, and then you even could have done that to try to kill the speeder, maybe. I mean, you might score Return of the Jedi there, but you've got bigger problems on your hands. Or maybe you just delay and you're like, okay, well, I don't know. I don't know how you get rid of that Moncal. I guess if you think you can prevent him from scoring this round, you move everything to Tatooine, deploy on Tatooine, and then attack Ryloth next turn. Maybe that's the better answer. It's just there's so many objectives that could be scored. 7, 8, 9, including Uprising. Okay. All right. Felucia down. What do you do here if you're the Empire? Do you go for the Moncal in Tatooine? Or do you go for the double attack, try to kill the... Oh boy. That's like a nightmare situation here. So you needed to decide this already before we got to this point here. So now your move is you have to go to Tatooine and fight the Moncal there. You can still do the single attack trick. Yeah, not anymore. You can't. Okay, so maybe you bring a single AT-AT and then bring the other. I mean, it's getting uglier and uglier, unfortunately, for the Empire here. Maybe you're on Construct Factory. I don't even know if that's helpful. Yeah, I think that's the move. I think you go to Moncal or you go fight the Moncal and then hope to survive. But I think the blockade was the big miss potentially. All right, sorry about the pause there. Looks like we're delivering some pain to the Moncal here. Some pain back to the Star Destroyers. 2 blocked. I think Kornel might be a little tilted here. Oh, okay. 1 heal. All right. That is the end of the Moncal. Yep. Okay. So that part worked out okay. We just had. Did we not bring the ETAT with it? What is this guy doing back here? Why is he here? Maybe the one from Utah is going to come back and pick him up? Establish trade relations. Okay. I guess. Okay, rule by fear. Interesting choice to rule by fear. I guess. Okay, if that's also a build alliance, then we're not worried about. Okay, maybe we are. Oh man. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, construct factory. Okay. Okay. And then Krennic's finest to move everybody over. Oversee project. Okay. Not the Star Destroyer? Why not the Star Destroyer? Why did we oversee a assault carrier? Inspire sympathy. That's it. All right. Good game. Good game. Jim advances. Kornel drops out with his second loss of the tournament. Goes down to Jim 1 on. Wow. Wow. Okay. So inspire sympathy for the win. Undercover with Lando. Endor was under the radar, which is also where Secure the Plans was. And very good. Okay. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this this game here. I will have my second game versus Grant here, maybe coming up later today. We'll see. I lost my first game as Rebs, so I've got Empire coming up next, and then hopefully take it to the tiebreaker. So congrats to Here's Jim. Good game played by both. We'll see you guys around. All right.